Good evening, students. I welcome you all to this paper discussion session. Today we are going to discuss seed science and technology in 2020 paper. 15 people have joined. We'll just wait for another 1 minute and we'll start. So previously, how many of you have just watched this previous genetics and plant breeding recording? Last Sunday we have discussed genetics and plant breeding of 2020. So if you have not watched it, there is a recording available in this same classroom. So you can just go and visit the Teachment app and watch it. Okay, cool. So we'll start today's paper discussion session. So before that, I have one important announcement to make, which is regarding the grand mock test, which was actually launched in the last week. Since you all know, like some of you have faced the issues with match the following, which was not clearly visible, and also I made an option that solution should be not be visible until the deadline, but it was somehow visible. So what we have done is we have just prepared another set of paper according to the pattern of ICAR, and we will be just giving the same paper to all the registered students in that same store where you have bought for 10 rupees. So that will start from 1st of February till 3rd of February till 11 p.m. So you can just go and attend the class again, like attend the mock test again. So on 4th of February at 11 a.m. the results will be declared on that. Okay, and the new students who have not yet registered to this mock test, you can just visit the store of our Agri Addict app, and then you can buy this mock test for just 10 rupees. Okay, so we have few more people. We'll just accept them and we'll start. So we have only few questions to be discussed in what you say plant seed technology. We will start by first one. So I have few important concepts to be discussed. There will be definitely a kind of value addition in this class, because the concepts that I am going to share with you all, that you might not find in the books that you read. So it would be very helpful for you. So stick to the class till the end and listen to the class carefully. Okay, so if you get any doubts in between, you can just stop me anywhere and ask me. So starting with first question, I think like we have discussed this question in the genetics and plant breeding session also in the previous Sunday. So I have like little bit information, like little more information regarding it. So I will just discuss this question once again. So the question says, identify the correct order of activities followed for testing and release of crop varieties. The options are multi-location testing, stational trials, variety identification, release and notification, and seed multiplication and distribution. So can anyone just tell me what is the criteria for release and notification of variety in India, if you are aware of it? Like if a certain person or a certain breeder or any farmer, any person, if he wants to just commercially notify his variety so that it can be sold with his brand name, so what is the criteria for? How does this variety identification takes place, and what is the procedure that is followed, and which is the sole organization which is responsible for this variety identification? Okay, we'll just talk from organization. Which is the organization which is responsible or which will take care of all this identification, release and notification? If you are aware of it, just tell me. Okay, NSC. Kavya is saying NSC. Very good. Any other? Yes, be quick. Any other answers? Okay, we'll discuss it. So we'll talk of the timeline of events that has been taken. Okay, Central Variety Release Committee. Okay, nice. So I will tell you, I will give more clarity regarding it. So the before in the 19th century, there was not a proper channel or a proper organization for release of variety, nor for the seed production. So this was all started with the pub, with this organization, which is National Seed Corporation. With the establishment of this organization, National Seed Corporation, in 1963, the activities like variety development and variety ID development was also there before this 1963, but there was no proper organization by the government to handle this or to take care of all these varieties. There was no as such document that were available till then. Okay, students are still joining. Okay. Just give me a minute, I'll just allow them. So it was all started with the establishment of National Seed Corporation in 1963. So once it was established, it was in 1964, there were two committees. One was, as someone has said, like Central Variety Release Committee and State Variety Release Committee. So from 1964 under NSC, as Kavya said us, like this was a sole organization which was taking care of variety identification, release, and notification. That is under commercial chain. So it was started in 1964 by Central Variety Release Committee for central varieties and State Variety Release Committee for state varieties. So this was functioning till 1966. Sorry, 1969. So this was actually functioning till 1969. So after 1969, everything was handed over to organization under Seed Act 1966. The organization was Central Seed Committee. So the committee which was formed under this Seed Act, which was enacted in 1966, this is present sole organization which will take care of all these activities. So from 1969, this whole thing was handed over to Central Seed Committee, under which for variety identification, release, and notification, it has a subcommittee which is called as Central Subcommittee on Crop Standards, Notification, and Release. So this is a subcommittee that is formed under Central Seed Committee for variety identification, release, and notification. So this committee we again as divided for Central Subcommittee and State Subcommittee. So under this Central Seed Committee, we have two different committees. One is Central Subcommittee and State Subcommittee. So State Subcommittee for state varieties and Central Subcommittee for central varieties. Can anyone just tell me who is the person or who is the head of this committee? What is the designation of the head of this committee who will look into the variety identification, notification, and release? If anyone is aware of. Have you heard about DDG Crop Science? Deputy Director General of Crop Science is the head of this committee. Who is the chairman? Who will have the authority to identify, release, and notify the varieties. So this is under Central Subcommittee on Crop Standards, Notification, and Release. So they will form a committee, and for every year there will be a workshop called as annual workshop, which will be headed by this chairperson and other group of committees, where the breeders or the farmers or whoever the applicants who want to notify their variety or who want to register their variety or who actually just want to release their variety, they will come and apply for this notification and release. And in this workshop, the data will be collected, and after this, their variety will be released. So this is the procedure. So there might be little bit confusion regarding release and notification and identification. So first, we have two different events for variety release for commercial scale. So if someone wants to release a variety, who has developed his own variety, if he wants to be in his commercial chain, the first thing is his variety should be identified. So next, after identification, he can release the variety. After releasing, there is also a third option, which is notification. So these are the three main steps for releasing the variety for in the commercial chain by any person or any applicant. So this is the procedure. So again, for variety development or variety identification or development, variety identification, there are certain criteria or steps to be followed, or you can say requirements. So what are the requirements for variety to be identified? So the things are, the main important things we can say are stational trials and multi-locational trials. So in order to variety to get identified, they will conduct stational trials and also multi-location trials. So all this data will be presented in the annual workshops. Once it is satisfied, then the variety is identified and is eligible for release and notification. So this is the procedure for releasing of variety. So going back to the question, they have asked regarding the steps followed. So as I discussed in the variety identification itself, there are two different procedures, that is stational trials and multi-location trials. Once it is done, then the variety is identified, then it is released and notification is done, and then it is eligible. Like it will be under commercial chain where it will be multiplied and distributed. So we have one term called as certified seed, right? What is the eligibility criteria for certification of any seeds? If I want my seeds to be certified, so what is the criteria, or why this certification is actually required? Yes, anyone? Okay. Raunik is saying to prove it is pure. Okay, fine, very good. To ensure the quality, to genetic purity. Okay. So certification is the one thing which the government organization will come and intervene, and they will give us certification tag from them for from their organization or agency to the classes of seeds or seed producers. So if certain seed producers wants to get a certified seed or wants certification to his seeds that he is maintaining the quality, so he can go and reach out this certification agency where they will be starting with foundation seed and certified seed production. They will look into the foundation seed production and certified seed production. So after that, if all the conditions are met, like from the proper field inspections they will do, from timely inspections, if every condition is met, after seed testing, they will give the certification to that particular seed. So once the certification is given, it is easy for a seed producer to showcase that tag and improve his marketing or improve his selling of his seeds. So that is one thing where the government organization will come and intervene and will ensure the quality of the seeds. So even, is it not possible to sell the seed without certification? Is it possible or not? Is this certification is compulsory? Okay. Yes, Shweta is saying certification is compulsory. Okay. Shrisha is saying it's no. Okay. See, the important thing to remember is certification is one thing which is voluntary. It's not compulsory. You can just come and voluntarily certified. If you want it to get certified, you want some label or tag on which all the requirements are given, like purity attributes, or that is if you want them to be showcasing on your tag, then you can go for certification. It's completely voluntary, it's not compulsory. But if you want to get certified, like if you have certain class of seeds of certain variety, if you want to certify those seeds, what is compulsory then? What is the minimum criteria to get a certified, to get certified seed or to get a certification from the agency? You can consider this in any state. We have state seed certifying agency, which will look into the certification of seed. This is the organization or the agency which will look into the matters of this certification, where they will conduct a timely field inspections, and they will ensure that the quality is maintained till it reaches the market. So if I want to be eligible for certification, what is the main criteria? Yes, reach minimum, follow minimum standards. See, the thing is, if I have certain breeder seed, I will take the seeds from the breeder directly. Okay, he has developed some breeder seed, I will take it. So if I want to have the certified seeds from that, there are two different generation, right? From breeder seed, I have to go for foundation seed and certified seed. So this will only holds good if I want to get a certification from the agency, right? So for this to happen, whatever variety I'm just wanting to get certified, that variety should be notified. This is the most important criteria. The notification of that variety is compulsory in order to get certified. So the people who are answering it as like minimum genetic physical purity, all those things will be maintained or will be ensured from certification agency. So if you are applying for certified seed, yes, you have to mention the maintain the genetic and physical purity, but that will be ensured by this agency. But in the first case, if you want to get apply for certification, then your whatever variety, it should be notified under Seed Act 1966. So this is the foremost important thing. So once it is certified, so that is why there are two different terms here: release and notification. See, any person or any breeder can only release the variety and give it in the commercial chain and give it to the private seed companies who doesn't have this certified seeds. Like they won't get certified by the certification agency. They will just sell it in their brand name, right? So at that time, this notification is not important. But if you want to sell the seeds under a certified one, then this notification is very important for you. So this was regarding what you call variety identification, release, and notification. And the sole agency is which is current sole agency which is looking after this variety identification, release, and notification, as I said you earlier. Okay, central seed. Yes, CSV. What is the CSV? Central seed. Central Seed Committee. Yes, it's Central Seed Committee, under which we have Central Subcommittee on Crop Standards, Notification and Release, which is headed by Chairman, who is Deputy Director General of Crop Sciences. Okay, so this is regarding variety identification. Okay, let's go to the second question. I hope like this is also discussed in the plant breeding, like genetics and plant breeding. When two self-incompatible but cross-compatible lines are interplanted, so the harvested of the both self-incompatible and hybrid seeds. So this is very simple to answer. Why? Because if I just plant two different self-incompatible lines, if they are self-incompatible, that means the self-pollination will not occur. There is a possibility of only cross-pollination. So if the cross-pollination is occurring between the two self-incompatible lines, the possibility is formation of the hybrid seed. So even in this line, it will be hybrid seed because the pollen has transferred from the second line. In the second case also, the pollen will be transferred from the second one, like first one. So that is why it is hybrid seed. Next, we have a question regarding tag for the breeder seed is issued by. So who will issue this tag? Okay. Concerned breeder of a variety. Okay, very good. So we have different classes of seeds. I just mentioned all the different classes of seed, starting from nucleus seed, breeder seed, registered seed or foundation seed, registered seed, certified seed, and truthfully labeled seed. What is the tag color for this nucleus seed? Yes, it doesn't have color. Okay. Why it doesn't have any tag? or why it doesn't have any color, or if I should be more appropriate, why it doesn't have any tag, why this tag concept is not there in this nucleus seed. Anurag is answering something, yes, but I am not able to hear you.
Sold to farmers.
Yes, nucleus seed. Okay. Yes, answer me. Okay, fine. So the nucleus seed, someone was answering. I am not able to hear you. Just can you pardon?
सर क्योंकि ये फार्मर्स को अवेलेबल नहीं होती.
Acha. Okay. Yes, it is not available for farmers. Even the breeder seed is not available for farmers. The farmers will get only foundation seed or certified seed. That is good, right? But why it doesn't have any tag? Because it doesn't come under certification program. Which class of seed will come under certification program? It's only foundation seed and certified seed. Okay, Raunik is saying as certified seed. See, the certification agency will involve from foundation seed stage only. Okay, from this generation only, they will just come and involve and start their frequent field inspections to ensure the quality. So, under certified seed production, there are two classes of seeds, which are foundation seed and certified seed. That is, you should remember. So, nucleus seed and the breeder seeds, they are actually very limited in quantity, and they are actually produced by their own concerned breeder who has just developed the variety. He will be multiplying this nucleus seed, so he will definitely take utmost care to have it maximum purity in terms of genetic and physical purity. That is why there is no such organization that will intervene and look into the quality of these seeds. So that is why we call the breeder seed is have the maximum genetic and physical purity. That is the reason why we say that, because the breeder and nucleus seeds are only the handful of seeds. So since the concerned breeder will only take care of the multiplication, he will just take the utmost care so that he will ensure the quality standards. So once the breeder seed is given to some maybe progressive farmers and also the organizations like NSC, SSC, State Seed Corporations, they will allot this what you call seeds of breeder seeds to might be progressive farmers, or themselves they will do in their fields, and also state agriculture universities. So then the agency will come and intervene, and they will look into the quality by just frequent field inspections. This is how it is done. So going back, I was just talking about the color. So just erase this. Okay. So nucleoside no color, and bitter seed it's golden yellow, and foundation seed, what is the color? It is white. And what is the color of this registered seed? It's purple. And certified seed, yes, Kavya is answering it right. Certified seed,
Violet.
what is the azure blue? So what about this truthfully labeled seed? Yes, it's opal green.
Green
So
plus
we have,
light green.
yes, it's called opal green. Okay, good. So just we have talked regarding certified seeds. So what about this truthfully labeled seed? What do you mean by truthfully labeled seed? Okay, before that, what is this registered seed? This is the class of seed which is not actually followed in India. Okay, this is also a class of seeds which will come after this foundation seeds, but this is actually omitted, and directly we will name it as certified seed. The next generation of foundation seeds will be named as certified seeds. Okay. So now I was asking you about what is truthfully labeled seeds. What do you understand by this class of seed? Whether it is involved in certification or not. What is this truthfully labeling? Okay, produced by farmers. Why? If the private companies are producing the seeds, they are not called as truthfully labeled seeds.
Yes, sir. Sir, any seed which is sold in market, generally.
Yes, very good. So outside this certification chain, any seeds outside this certification chain can be called as truthfully labeled seeds. So why the name truthfully labeled seeds? Why? Because see, according to the Seed Act 1966, they took care of certification. Why they took care of certification? In order to ensure the quality of seeds that are in market. So that something was missing was this. They have told that okay, if you want to get certified your seeds, then your notification is compulsory, but certification is voluntary. So most of the seed producers were not actually going to certification. So again, the market had very low quality of seeds. So in order to overcome this loop that was found in Seed Act, we had in 1983 we had Seed Control Order, so which ensures that whatever seeds that are there in the market, even though they are not certified, they will have to pass certain minimum standards. So every seeds which are sold should have some certain labels. So whatever information that is present in the label, the seed should follow it. For example, we have certain minimum standards for all the seeds, right? So the concerned seed producer, while marketing the seed, he has to label himself, like self labeling. It is called as self labeling. He has to display the label in which the quality attributes should be mentioned, that is followed from his class of seed. He has to test it. He has to send the samples to seed testing agents, like seed testing laboratories. So where his sample will be tested, based on that he has to display the quality attributes. So if this is happening under seed control order, we have seed inspectors who will be regularly checking the quality of the seeds in market. So if certain inspector come and suspects that okay, this like ये बंदा quality maintain नहीं कर रहा है, तो he will go and just take the samples from the seed producer and he will just submit it to the seed testing laboratories. If the quality is not maintained or the quality is actually not matching these labeling information, then he cannot sell it further and the whole amount of seeds will be seized. So this is for maintaining the quality. The act like order was came, which is called as seed control order. This is about truthfully labeled seed. So for a simple, like to remember it simply, it's nothing but any seeds, any class of, like any type of seeds that are sold in the market which are not under this certification chain are all truthfully labeled seeds. So one important thing to remember is you cannot sell the seeds in the market as a seeds. I'm not telling asking you in terms of edible things. Okay, if you are just selling the seeds for multiplication for in the next generation as a seeds, then it should maintain certain quality. Along with maintaining the quality, it should be compulsory labeled. So that is why we have an important statement in the seed technology that though certification is voluntary, we have certification is voluntary, but labeling is compulsory. My handwriting is not that good, just ignore it. Okay, so the compulsory certification is voluntary, but the compulsory labeling is compulsory. This is the main important statement in the seed technology that you should understand from Seed Act and Seed Control Order. I hope like I have just answered this question, and we have discussed regarding different colors, which is the most important thing, which will be frequently asked in the exam of JRF regarding tag color of either breeder seed, foundation seed, or certified seed on any other class of seeds. So along with the color, again, size is also very important for you. It might be also asked. So what is the size of this breeder tag size? It is 12 into 6 centimeter. So what about foundation and certified? It is 12 into 7.5. Both will have 12 into 7.5. Clear?
Yes, sir.
It is 12 into 6 and 15 is to 15 is to 7.5 for foundation and certified seeds. This is about color and size. So other question might arise. I talked about the breeder seed is developed from the concerned breeder. Then what about this foundation seed and certified seed? which is the organization which is responsible for this production. Yes, it is like divided to or distributed to state agriculture universities, progressive farmers, or certain organization. But who is the head of this? This is basically by NSC or SSC. Okay, the production is eventually like actually taken or added by National Seed Corporation or State Seed Corporation. They will look into the production, but who will actually certify the seeds? What is the agency? That is State Seed Certification Agency. This agency will just go and ensure the quality of seeds by frequent field inspections at different stages. Okay, this is done. So next question is, what is the isolation distance required for production of certified seeds of maize composite variety? Okay. Can you just tell me what is the answer here? Okay. It's 200. Very good. So this is also most important part to be read in this TC technology for JRF, where you should remember the isolation distance for foundation and certified seed. So I hope like you all understand what is this isolation distance. Isolation distance is the distance between the adjacent fields, like adjacent fields in fields where there is a minimum limit that it should be maintained, or minimum distance that should be maintained for different crops. For different crops, there is a different distance. So how this distance is calculated? It is based on nature of pollination. So if it is self-pollinated, the isolation distance will be very less. For cross-pollinated, it will be very high. So for order of isolation distance will be highest for highly cross-pollinated crops, next often cross-pollinated crops, and very less for self-pollinated crops. What is the minimum isolation distance that is followed for any crop? Like, even it is highly self-pollinated, there is a minimum isolation distance. It is 3 meters. Very good. Which is the highly self-pollinated crop? Yes, 3 meters is very right. Very good. And what about which is highly self-pollinated crop? Is it wheat or rice? Yes, Kaveh answered it right. Very good. It's wheat. Wheat is highly self-pollinated than rice. Okay. So this is about isolation distance. Isolation distance. Yes, Anurag, you want to ask something?
No, sir.
Okay. So this is regarding isolation distance. So there is no as a shortcut for it. The only shortcut is the cross-pollinated crops will have higher isolation distance, and self-pollinated will have lowest isolation distance. According to it, you should remember all the different things. So here in the question, you can observe there, they have asked for composites, right? What if they have asked for hybrids? Does this answer remain same or does it varies? If I ask you for what is the isolation distance for certified seeds of maize hybrids, it is same as 200 or changes? Yes, anyone? Sorry. Like, okay, 300 meter. Okay, you are saying that it changes. Yes. Any other answers? Yes, fast. Okay, it usually is 300. It usually changes from hybrids and varieties. Okay, hybrids will have higher isolation distance than varieties. So there are different classes also. This will be not asked for every crops. Only if important crops you should remember for also hybrids and also for varieties. Okay. The more, if you remember more for more number of crops, then it is obviously useful for you. So that is why they are trying to mention it as composite variety. So for different classes of seeds or varieties, whether it is variety or hybrid, the isolation distance varies from crop to crop. Next question, we'll go further. So we have on mass following. This is very simple, I believe. Like breeder seed is golden brown. They have mentioned it brown. It's golden yellow. Then nucleus seed, no tags are used. Certified it's azure blue, and foundation it is white. So again, I think the same question has repeated here. Okay. There is one question regarding compost maturity. Can you answer this question? So this was something that was not that simple to answer, and also it is not present in the book whatever I write. Like it's from seed physiology. It also comes from microbiology if you study about the composting and all regarding microorganisms. So first we'll just break this term compost maturity, and then we'll discuss which test is used. So what you understand by this compost maturity, it's nothing but a degree of completion of the decomposition. This is measured in terms of compost maturity. So then this compost maturity can be assessed by seed germination test. For example, if certain plant is planted in the compost, in certain compost, so based on the development of this plant, the degree of maturity can be assessed. So that takes place only when you give the germination test. When you sow the seeds in a media having this compost, the based on the development of this plant, you can assess the compost maturity. And also by the infrared techniques, where there is will be a difference in absorption spectra or absorption bands, it will have a difference based on the different maturity level. If it is completely matured, the absorption bands will be very unique compared to the compost which is not matured enough. So based on this, you can also assess the compost maturity. So that's why the answer would be both seed germination and infrared techniques. Okay, so we'll move further, and next question says the crop variety enjoys the legal protection in India provided it is. Can you just answer this question? Okay, B. Anchal is answering it as 1. Okay, Ronick is answering 2. Any other answers? Okay, only few are answering and everyone is saying it as 2, and only one person has said it as 1. Okay, the answer for this question is 1, not 1, sorry, 2. Where it went. Okay, so they are asking about legal protection. So all the varieties crops which are under cultivation in India are protected, can be protected by the sole authority which is called as PPV and FRA. Protection of plant varieties and farmers' rights. This is the organization which will look into the protection aspects of all the crops or the different varieties of the crops. So what we'll talk of this PPV FRA in detail now. So what is the criteria for the protection, or we'll talk about the history first. So how it was all started. So in the 19th century, we didn't have any of the protection, nor for the farmers, nor for the breeders. Even though breeder has just developed his own variety, we didn't have the protection for those varieties as such. We had only patents, and that came into existence in 1960, right? Before that, we didn't have a protection specifically for plants or the crops. So it all started in what you call from the trade related aspects. So in 19th century, since the international trade was actually increasing, even for maintaining this international trade, there was no proper organization. So in 1944, for the first time, GATT was formed, right? General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. It was formed, and also World Bank was formed, and we have International Monetary Fund was formed. So these are the three organizations that were formed in 1944. So after that, it was changed into, this was actually asked in one of the paper regarding GATT and WTO. So GATT was actually changed into WTO, that is World Trade Organization, to look into the aspects of trade related operations all over the world. To keep it very simple and smooth, this was formed. So this was in 1995. The date is very important for you. Just remember this date. That is 19. Okay. Okay, sorry, it all started from 1944, but okay, it was established in 1948. Thank you. Okay, I just got confused, I suppose. So this was in 1995, the WTO was formed. So as you all know, like India is the member of this WTO, right? But once this WTO was formed in 1995, there was a agreement called as Marrakesh Agreement, which took place in 1995. So in this agreement, they are just proposed that TRIPS. They have talked about TRIPS, and there are certain articles were released from the TRIPS. TRIPS is nothing but trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights. This was formed in the Marrakesh Agreement. So according to this TRIPS, they have mentioned an important rule that if a certain country wants to be a member of WTO, they should follow two important conditions, which is related to plant variety protection. So the two important, there were several conditions, but only two conditions were very important for plant variety protection. What they have said is, they have said that all developing and developed countries should have their own plant breeders right. Why it was very important to have these plant breeder rights? Since after green revolutions, we all got to know the importance of new varieties and the problems with the varieties, that it will deteriorate from time. So to encourage the plant breeders and they protect them, since breeding of varieties will take long term of time, like it is not in 1 or 2 years the varieties will be developed, and it will take a lot of work. So in order to encourage and protect the breeders, they have made compulsory that every country should have their own plant breeders rights, and also patenting of the variety should be there in each and every country. This was one condition. So second condition was, if they are not having any of these rights, maybe it might be difficult for a developing country to establish the organization and giving the fund for all these things. So in that case, the second condition would be like, if they are not having their own rights or own plant breeder rights or organization to maintain it, they should follow UPO. How many of you just listened to this UPO? So this is something that you have not read, I believe. So this UPO is a organization which is called as Union for Protection of New Varieties of Plant. This came into existence in 1961. It is a world over organizations which will look into the aspects of protection of the varieties. So they said like a country should either have their own plant breeder rights or patents, which was commonly called as sui generis. I think while reading this intellectual property rights, you have heard about this sui generis. What do you understand by sui generis? It's called as system of its own. Yes. So sui generis is a system which is basically tells us that, like, according to the conditions, they're said to have the system of their own for every developing country, or either to follow UPO. So based on these conditions, India formulated PPV FRA. So why the UPO, like why India didn't follow the UPO, has certain things that is not actually important for you. We'll leave it. But remember that PPFR is only formed after this WTO agreement, like what TRIPS agreement, according to the conditions. Okay, Arpita is saying it's their own. Nice. So PPFRA came into existence in 2001. That is, it is established in 2001, and rules were published in 2003, and it actually came into force. It's in 2005, and the regulations were framed out in 2006. Out of these 4 different years came into force and established. This is very important. Just remember, it is in 2005 in which it came to force, and it was in 2001 in which it was established. And this PPFRA has 11 chapters and 97 sections. So one great thing to remember or to know is, India is the only country which is having the farmer's right. Okay, while protection of the plant varieties, India is the sole country which has made a constitution in that which it has its own right, which allows the farmers to sell the seeds without a brand name. This is very unique to India under PPV FRA. and the headquarters for this PPFRA is located in New Delhi. I hope like for the dates, chapters and everything is clear now. So under PPFRA, what is the criteria to get protection? The main criteria is all the varieties or the crops should be listed in this PPFRA organization. In order to get listed, they should go and register their variety or crops. Like both crops in different crops, every variety should be registered in order to get the protection. So they have to apply for the registration first. Okay, registration is based on the certain qualities that it should follow. After that, they will get a registered that a particular variety is registered, and then it will be eventually protected. So this is the thing. So that in detail it might not be important for you, but only remember about the organization, how it has formed and where the headquarters is located and what is the function of that organization. It's basically deals with the protection of plant varieties. Clear? So which are the different types of varieties that are protected in India? So if I want to get protection to my variety, is this necessary that it should be always new? I can only protect the new variety since it came after 2001. What if the breeders who have just bred the varieties or released the varieties before 2000, they can't protect under PPFRA? Is this true? Like the breeders who have just released the varieties before 2000 cannot protect their varieties under PPFRA? Okay, it's not true. Like any variety can be protected even before. If it is one before 2000, it can also be protected. So main criteria would be like there are three important types of varieties when we talk in seed technology point of view. One is new variety, second one is extant variety, and third one is essentially derived variety. So all these three different classes can be protected because extant means it is already in the public domain for several years. EDV means it has been essentially derived from the existing variety. So all the different kinds of varieties can be protected from in the PPVFRA. So this is important. And one more important thing for you is protection period, duration of protection. So under PPVFRA, trees and vines have 18 years of protection, and all the other varieties will have 15 years of protection. Clear? So remember 18 and 15 years. This is all about PPVFRA. Next question. We'll go into the next question. So next question saying minimum standard for seed germination for seed certification in maize. Can anyone just tell me what is the answer for this question? Okay, 90. Very good. I hope like you have all remembered the seed germination percentage, isolation distance, and everything. It's cool. Nice. If you have not remembered it yet, just make a note of all the different germination percentage of different crops and just try to revise them regularly. Okay. So I will just talk about the highest germination percentage. It is in again maize only. 90 is the highest germination percentage that we see in the crops. And what is the lowest in the crops? Like lowest can be anything for if you consider all type of plants. But what if in the crops that we cultivate? Its lowest is 60%. In which crop? Cotton. Cotton is 60 or 65. Okay, it's 65. Yes. What about 60? Which one is 60? You should not forget it about the 61. The lowest germination percentage is for carrot and all the gourds. Bottle gourd, bitter gourd, all the gourds is having 60% germination standards. So next, gourds, carrot, and also capsicum. So remember these three different crops which has the lowest germination percentage standard. Okay, this was regarding this question. So one thing I just forgot to tell you. So we are talking about certification, right? Like based on what basis the certification is done? It is on the basis of standards. For every crops, there will be certain standards. For example, germination standard, genetic purity standard, physical purity standard. So these are the different examples for the standards which the crop should meet in order to be certified. So what is the basis for all of this? Who will constitute this standard? It is again by Central Seed Committee. They will form the standards in a book called as Indian Minimum Seed Standards, Seed Certification Standards, IMS CS. This is a book. It is also called Blue Book, in which all the standards for different crops which are eligible for certification are there. Okay, based on this reference, the field inspection is done and seed testing results will be compared, and then the variety will be either certified or not, will be decided. So next question is regarding edible parts. This is very simple to answer. Can you just tell me the example, like answer for this? Okay, it's 2. Cauliflower, its inflorescence. Spinach, its leaves. Carrots, its root. And chili, its fruit. This is very simple. Okay. Next is regarding seed dormancy. So seed dormancy is a one such important topic in seed technology which you need to read, because every year they will definitely ask you some one or other things regarding seed dormancy. So before going into the detection, what do you understand by seed dormancy? Seed dormancy is nothing but, okay, I'll just ask you one question. The dormant seeds are viable or non-viable? Okay, Shweta is answering viable. Very good. Okay, it will come under the class of viable seeds because non-viable are already dead. They can't be seen as dormant. Dormant is the one which it can again grow. Those type of seeds, they can be called as dormant. If they are like maturing or they can germinate, then we can say it as dormant. If they are not actually germinating at particular time, if they later germinate, these are dormant seeds. This will come under the class of viable one. So these are the seeds which have the incapability to germinate, even if they are placed under favorable conditions. If they are given the favorable condition to germinate, even though if they do not germinate, they will come under seed dormancy. So how to detect it? So I already answered your question. Can you just tell me how to detect the seed dormancy? Okay, Jared is answering as to, okay, very good. So what about vigor? So vigor is actually a measure of potential of a seed to germinate. How much potential it has, that is what vigor test will tell us. Even from the vigor test, if the seed germinates, it means that seed is not dormant. It can be detected, but it will tell us about the potential of germination, not exactly the germination. Like if whether it is viable or not, whether it is dormant, it will be only known by germination test. If we just sow the seeds, if it is not germinating, it means it is, if it is actually imbibing the water and then also it is not germinating, it means that seeds are actually dormant. The tetraxolium test is one such test which will tell about viability, whether it is viable or not. And this is standardized for soybean. You should remember this. And purity is nothing to do with seed dormancy. Okay. So this was regarding seed dormancy. Next question. Higher the degree of cross-pollination crops, which we discussed earlier, more will be the isolation distance requirement. Self-pollinated crops need more isolations like cross-pollinated crops. Which of the two statements are true? Out of these two statements, which one is true? Okay. Why it is taking so long to answer this? Yes. So statement 1 is true because self-pollinated crops need less isolation compared to cross-pollinated crops. This was all about seed technology. These were the questions from 2020 paper. You are seeing that only one question was little bit difficult, which was about compost maturity, which you might not get it in any book. Otherwise, all the things are basic from seed technology only. If you are very thorough with all these things, you can just definitely answer them. So this was all about today's class. So all of this content which I have just told you in brief, it will be discussed in detail in our master course of plant sciences, and also in the separate seed science course. So if you are willing to join the course, you can just go and visit our website and see for it. If you are interested, you can join. So this was for today, and this PDF will be available in the same app in the free content. You can just go through the PDF where I have whatever content I have explained. I have also made a note of it, so you can just read out the same content in the PDF also. If you are not able to remember or recall whatever I said, the same content I have made a notes, and it will be available in the app. You can just go through the content. And also again I will just remember you the mock test. You just go and consider the mock test and attend it from 1st of February till 3rd. The result will be declared on 4th. So if you are topping the exam, then definitely will get a free subscription to our master course. So that's it for today. We'll meet in the next class. Tomorrow we have a class on linkage and crossing over. So all the registered students just attend the class tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay. So we'll meet in the next weekend with another subject for discussion. Might be pathology. I believe like it would be pathology for next week. Okay. So thank you for attending. We'll meet in the next class.